This week on Chuckload of Comics, Rick and Morty gets renewed for 70 new episodes.
What?
We get our first plot details for Bill and Ted 3, and Tenacious D Pick of Destiny 2 comes out this October.
Yes!
All that plus comic book reviews and the Week in Review right here on Chuckload of Comics. Hello and welcome to Chuckload of Comics. It's Sunday, May the 13th.
Sunday.
What a huge week, guys. Lots of big news we're going to get into this week. Bill and Ted 3 gave us our first plot details. We finally know what that movie's going to be about. Tenacious D is releasing their sequel to Pick a Destiny this year. And Rick and Morty gets a 70-episode renewal from the good people at Adult Swim. And we got our first reactions for Han Solo. We're going to get into all of that cool, nerdy news. If you haven't joined us here on Chuckload of Comics before, welcome. We're a weekly comic book show. We talk about movies. We do the Week in Review. We talk about the comic book picks of the week that we like. If you're watching this and you enjoy it, please click that subscribe button down there. Join the Chuckload of Comics family. We would love it. Love nothing more.
Absolutely.
Speaking of subscribers, I want to give a couple of really big shout-outs to some viewers of ours.
Yeah.
First up, I don't know if you saw, we did a review a couple weeks ago about this amazing thing right here. This is the foam Infinity Gauntlet that you can get at the Disney store. We did a review of it because it's so badass.
I know, it's so cool.
It's this kick-ass foam Infinity Gauntlet
And
you
it's
can get.
surprisingly affordable.
It's sort of affordable. It's $40, $39.99. You can get it at the Disney store while supplies last. They're flying off the shelves. We did a review of it, and one of our viewers, our longtime good friend and subscriber, Chris. You can find his YouTube show. Chris, I'm going to totally mispronounce your YouTube name. Sir Kraub, K-R-E-A-U-B. He reached out to us. He was so impressed by this awesome gauntlet. He decided to get one for himself, and he's currently doing a whole modification.
Yes.
Where he's installing LED lights
so
into
cool.
his. He's been sending us photos of his progress.
So cool. You're doing a bang-up job, Chris.
Insanely impressive what he's doing. He took out all of these little rubber gems here, and he installed LED lights. He sent us links to where he got the LEDs, his whole work in progress. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're seeing some pictures of it right now. It turned out great. He finally got the LEDs in.
That's so cool.
He's going to do one mod, and he's going to do another one, I think, in a couple weeks, because he bought two of them. It's so impressive. Chris, thank you so much for sharing your progress. I'm totally going to steal everything that you did. I'm going to do it for this guy also. So thanks, man. I was worried about taking these things out if they would break, if they would rip the foam.
You were the guinea pig, so thank you.
So thank you, man. We're going to do a full review of your progress and its own separate show coming up in a future episode. But I just wanted to share that with everybody out there. If you haven't seen the review of this, check out our videos page. It's a really, really cool toy that you can pick up while supplies last. One other big shout out we want to do is to Jalen Franz.
My mama.
Shauna's mother sent us this. What is this? It's kryptonite, right?
How cool is that, right?
This is homemade soap.
Yep.
It's kryptonite soap. It's incredible. It's this green, translucent, it glows in the dark.
It's so cool.
It's soap, but it's kryptonite soap, and it actually smells really good.
She did a bang-up job.
She makes soap. She's with the Banana River Soap Co. Down in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and she made us this, and she sent it to us kind of as a birthday present to me.
Yes.
I could not be more impressed with this.
I
It's got
know,
a cool
it's so
little
cool.
wooden box in there. It looks real.
I know.
But it smells good, and it's actual soap. I'm never going to wash my hands with this.
I was going to say, it's one of those things you don't ever want to use. You just want to keep it
amazingly
so
gorgeous.
Cool.
So thank you very much, Jalen, for sending us that.
Thanks, Mama.
We love it. So let's go ahead
Love you.
and get into the Week in Review, all the amazing news that happened. First up, we got our first reactions to the Han Solo movie.
I know.
Han Solo premiered in Hollywood this week, and it was an amazing. They streamed the entire premiere on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, they built a life-size Millennium Falcon right on Hollywood Boulevard.
So cool.
It spanned from sidewalk to sidewalk. It's like the Millennium Falcon just landed in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard, and that was the big entrance into the show. Some of the reviews started coming in. They're mostly positive. Yeah. No spoilers, so don't freak out, people. These are non-spoiler reviews. They're just reactions of what people are thinking.
Yeah.
They were really great. I'm just going to read a couple of them to you real quick. Stephen Weintraub, the president of Collider.com and Collider on YouTube, I'm sure you've seen their shows. He wrote, "I figured if Disney was willing to show a Solo a few weeks before its release, it must be good, and it absolutely is." He says, "The film is a blast and a welcome addition to the Star Wars universe." That's a nice review.
That's a great review.
That's a nice review. Dan Casey wrote, Solo was so much better than I was expecting. It balanced fan service with meaningful storytelling, and it's an absolute blast.
See, that's what I want to hear, is
Yeah.
because it looks like it's just a fun movie. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be this epic 3-movie trilogy.
Right.
It just seems like it's a one-shot, in and out, fun romp at the movie theater.
That's what people are saying. They're saying it's an adventure film. It's not a
Yeah.
big saga film.
Yeah.
It's not this massive thing, which explains why they decided not to release it in December.
Yeah,
Everybody was
right
kind of
about that.
scratching their head when they were like, why you... Star Wars owns December right now. Disney owns Christmas. Why would they move the Star Wars film away from December? And this is why, because it's really just a one-and-done action film. It's like Indiana Jones more than it
Yeah.
is like A New Hope. But people are liking it. You know, it's don't expect... The Force Awakens. Expect something more along the lines of Rogue One, where it's just a really cool action, one and done kind of flick. So I'm excited.
Me
This
too.
did not change my excitement level at all. I'm not more excited or less excited. I'm still just as excited as I was.
Just excited. Staying on the same page.
Like a lot of
here.
people, my expectations aren't crazy high for Solo, but
Yeah.
I am super excited. We already have our tickets.
It's going to be fun.
Other massive news.
Uh-oh.
Rick and Morty, all you Rick and Morty
Yes.
fans. If you're unfamiliar with the status of Rick and Morty, after this last season, they basically said, we're done.
Yeah.
We're not doing Rick and Morty anymore, and fans were freaking out.
Like, what? It's only been 3 seasons.
Right. Well, the good people over at Adult Swim backed up the money truck, and they dumped it all on the creators of Rick and Morty. Not only did they renew it for another season, they renewed it for 70 episodes.
70.
We're going to get 70 more episodes. For those of you who don't realize, that's about 6 more seasons
Yeah.
of
6
Rick and
or
Morty.
Even maybe 7 if they cut it to 10-episode season.
So get excited. If you guys
Right?
haven't seen Rick and Morty, definitely check it out on Adult Swim. You can see the episodes, I think some of them on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can watch them online. Rick and Morty is an absolutely hysterical show.
So good.
It's a game changer of a cartoon. It's taking the world by storm. Just the merchandising alone
Yeah.
is huge. I mean, you can't walk into any store and not see
Any.
Rick and Morty t-shirts, Rick and Morty
Yeah.
teleportation guns, buttons,
Poopy
stickers.
Butthole.
They're everywhere. People are cosplaying as Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's taking the world by storm, and look forward to 70 more episodes of
That's
Rick and
awesome.
Morty
So cool.
coming soon. Another massive piece of news. Speaking of things being renewed, we finally got our first plot
Roll.
details for Bill and Ted 3.
Yes.
It was announced this week that Bill and Ted 3 is a go.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's 100% a go. If you're unfamiliar with kind of the backstory of Bill and Ted 3, they've been making this script for years, for like a decade and a half. They've been talking about doing Bill and Ted 3, but they couldn't quite get the funding. They couldn't get, the actors on board at the right
Right.
time, but now it's finally a go. The first plot details, and tell me, Shauna, what you think about these plot details. We already knew that this takes place, obviously, the Bill and Ted are grown up. They're in their 50s now. They've got kids. They've got wives. And they've never written that amazing song that was going to change the world. They've written lots of songs, but according to this plot, they've all been shitty. So they get a visit from a future visitor, just like the first original Bill and Ted, just
Sure.
like when Rufus came down and told them, you got to pass your test because the universe depends on it. They get a visit from a future traveler who says, you guys have 24 hours to write this song, otherwise the universe is fucked.
I wonder if it's going to be a telephone booth again, or
Yeah.
since they're obsolete, maybe it'll be something else.
Right. Bigger question is
what it
who's it
would
going to be? Because obviously
Yeah.
George Carlin has passed away. Will it be another comedian? Will it be maybe a rock and
point.
roller? Who knows? Will it be, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Because, and what I think Chris Rock would be a really awesome
Rock would be great.
actor to
That's a good
come
idea.
down. Like he would really crush the
Yeah.
Rufus style role.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's a comedian. I'm
That's
hoping somebody that's
interesting.
really, really funny. It's not just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who am I trying to think of? Just
Anybody?
some aging rock star. So
Gene
basically, what
Simmons.
they do, it's like Gene Simmons coming down. So what they got to do, their big master plan is to travel into the future and steal the song from themselves. That's their plan, is to go steal this song from their future selves. So I'm excited that it's going to be another time traveling romp, another time traveling
Yeah.
adventure. So that's really awesome. I'm
so
I'm
cool.
on board with that plot. Shauna,
Totally.
any part of that sound weird to you?
I think it fits that genre perfectly. I hope they go back in time, though, too, again, still, and not
Good
just
point.
into the future. I hope they go back in time, because that's just,
Go back in time, pick up Socrates and Billy
Yeah.
the Kid and bring them to the future with them. That would be ideal. Or maybe go to back in time. Maybe they scoop up Death. Maybe Death
Yeah.
could be a part of the thing. So anyway, that's exciting. Bill and Ted 3, it's happening. Speaking of sequels and rock and roll sequels, Tenacious D Pick a Destiny 2.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody really knew this was even going to happen, but Jack Black, they were on stage at the Shaky Knees Music Festival in Atlanta, Georgia. And while because they were doing a Tenacious D live show, and while they were on stage, Jack Black dropped the news that Tenacious D 2 Pick a Destiny is happening, and then it's coming out in October.
Yeah, not only that it's happening, but it's like apparently done filming and wrapped and ready to go.
Yeah.
Like,
It's coming out this year, and it's funny because JB, who was on the stage with him, turned to Jack, or not JB, KG turned to him and said, "Hey, JB, I don't think we've told anybody about that." So this was like breaking news live on stage. You can actually watch on YouTube the video of him making the announcement from somebody with a cell phone video out in the audience. So they didn't announce like, is it going to be a theatrical release? Is it going to be a straight to Netflix kind of thing? Is it going to go straight to Redbox? Who knows? But who cares?
I know.
It can't not be great.
I think that would be great.
I'm sure we'll have cameos from all the people from the original. I'm sure Dave Grohl's going to be in it. The original cast. So get excited, man. Tenacious D 2.
So cool.
Long overdue, just like Bill and Ted 3.
Yes.
That's kind of the big movie news for the week. That and, of course, Cobra Kai. There's two other pieces of movie news I forgot about. Cobra Kai, if you haven't watched Cobra Kai, it's pretty sweet. It's on YouTube Red.
It's so cheesy, but it's worth it.
Very cheesy,
it's
but
fun.
so fun.
It takes you back into that world that you miss so much.
So much 80s fun. If you haven't seen it,
so good.
It's on YouTube, obviously. You probably know that. It's streaming. Well, it's already been announced for Season 2. Season 2 has already been officially announced on YouTube. It's happening. They left the series wide open for future episodes if you haven't watched it yet.
And brought back some old friends.
No spoilers for the last episode, but
it was cool.
Some great open-ended stuff happened at the end of the final episode. So yeah, Cobra Kai Season 2 is happening. Last little piece of Star Wars news before we get into some comic book talk.
Star Wars news.
Jon Favreau, as you know, has announced that he is doing a Star Wars series for the Disney streaming service that launches in 2019. Disney's new streaming service, Jon Favreau. We've known this for a couple months that he's doing a Star Wars show, but that's all we knew.
Didn't know what it was about. Yeah.
He announced live on TV at the Star Wars Han Solo premiere when this show's going to take place. And what part in the Star Wars universe this show is going to take place, and when it's going to take place is after the events of Return of the Jedi, but before Force Awakens.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things that could happen between then.
I know, it's a totally untapped, even in the comic books, they never really delve, I mean the novels they did, but they never really kind of dove into what happened between, episode 3 and episode 7. No, episode 6 and 7, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, whatever.
Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, so it could be about anything. It could be about the rise of the First Order. It could be about the final fall of the Empire, because really you just left it off with the Emperor dying, but you really never found out what happened to all the stormtroopers littered throughout the galaxy.
Right. It could be about Luke's school and the Knights of Ren. It could be like
they could delve into that. They could delve into that. He did all.
It could be a young Kylo Ren. Like it could be like kid Kylo Ren.
Baby Kylo Ren. You could have Kylo Ren in it. You can have. Cool. It could be the return of Boba Fett. Because Boba Fett, if you know from the comics and the novels, he's not dead. He falls into the Sarlacc pit, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's dead," but he comes back. He survives the Sarlacc pit. He kills the little Sarlacc, and he flies out. So he's back. So that would be a great opportunity to bring back Boba Fett.
Holy cow, this could be so cool.
I know. He could do anything, and in Jon Favreau, we trust.
Oh yeah.
He said he's going to be using groundbreaking new motion capture special effects. He's going to be introducing new characters no one's ever heard of. He's also said the first season is almost completely written. He's already pretty much written the entire thing.
How many seasons is it going to be? Do we know?
That I don't know if they released that. But get excited, because
it's gonna be fun.
What got me most excited is when he talked about his groundbreaking special effects.
Yeah.
Lion King, Jungle Book. He's on point with motion capture now.
No kidding.
More than almost anybody. So yeah.
Keep Andy Serkis in the work.
Bring Andy Serkis on. That would be awesome.
Keep him on payroll.
Yep. So that's it, guys. That's your nerd news for the week. Let's get into a little bit of comic book talk before we wrap this up.
This is a comic book show.
So, some amazing things are happening. A lot of you people, if you're still watching the show right now, maybe you don't read comics. Maybe you just like the movies. Maybe you just like, movie talk and stuff like that. But if you've ever thought about getting into comics, now's a wonderful time to do it.
Perfect time.
Because Marvel is doing what they're calling the Fresh Start campaign. They're rebooting. Everything's going to start at a number 1. I know, I can hear you out there. Marvel does this all the time. But it's really, I'm kind of excited about this one. Because it's a wonderful time to get into comics. They've already released this one and this one. This is Avengers number 1. They've relaunched the Avengers, and they've relaunched this guy, Venom.
Sweet.
A book that I was a little nervous about, but we read it. It came out this week.
It was great.
It's fantastic.
I love
It's by Donny Cates,
Who we love,
is
so.
just the guy crushing it across the board for all comic books. Donny Cates made his impression on the world with his book God Country.
Yeah.
It was an image book that came out in 2017. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Since then, Marvel took note of him and has picked him up on a lot of their titles. He just currently wrapped up a Thanos run.
Also
that's going to be a
killer.
legendary
Yeah.
comic book run. He's been doing Doctor Strange. Anything else for Marvel that I can't think of right now?
Not for Marvel, but he does have another independent book out called Baby Teeth
Baby
with
Teeth is awesome.
Aftershock, so that's
Yep.
also amazing. But
So Marvel's given him the keys to the kingdom, and he's kicking it off with this book right here. And they partnered with one of our favorite artists, Mr. Ryan Stegman.
gosh.
Ryan Stegman, you know from New Avengers. He's done a ton of stuff for Marvel over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
He's an amazing artist, and the art in this book will just knock
so
your socks
good.
off, man. The story's
good.
great. It's a great jumping on point for anybody interested in Venom, especially with the movie coming out
Yep.
this year.
Yep.
Same way with the Avengers. Jason
Also really
Aaron
good.
has taken the reins of the Avengers, and this is starting off with number one. Jason Aaron, you know, just wrapped up a legendary run of Thor, the Mighty Thor.
Yep.
He did the Star Wars run for like 35 issues. Dude's amazing. He's absolutely incredible. And this book is a tribute to his amazingness because it's really, really sick. It's an intergalactic super book. It's going to get so nuts, the Avengers.
It's gonna get so good.
Everybody's in it. All your favorite characters. Tony Stark's in it, obviously.
Captain America.
Thor,
and
Captain America,
Thor.
Black Panther, Doctor Strange.
Captain Marvel's in this one,
Captain
which is
Marvel
cool.
is in it.
That's kind of fun.
She-Hulk is in it.
Yeah.
Everybody's in it.
Oh, you said Black Panther.
Yeah. So get on board, people.
Yep.
And obviously, down here we got Mr. Captain America. That's going to be launching on July 4th. The new run of Captain America is really, really exciting. He's back. It's back. It's Steve Rogers back as Captain America. He's a good guy again.
Isn't it bearded Steve Rogers too?
I don't know. Not on the cover. He's got no beard on the cover.
Oh, that's right.
He shaved.
Yeah, maybe he shaved for it.
So anyway, pick up these books, man. Get on board with the comic book relaunch over at Marvel because it's a great time to do it. They've got a brand new Ant-Man and the Wasp book that's launching, a Doctor Strange book that's launching, a new Thor book that's launching. Everything. Spider-Man's going to be launching with an all-new number one. Pretty much everybody you can think of is launching with a brand new number one. They're bringing back the Incredible Hulk. Bruce Banner's back from the dead in a book called The Immortal Hulk.
That looks like fun.
If you don't know, Bruce Banner was killed by Hawkeye, of all people, shot through the brain in the events of Civil War II.
Yep.
So everybody's coming back. Good time to get on board.
Too. You got the
Wolverine's back.
Wolverine is coming back.
The Hunt
so
for
that's
Wolverine's
cool.
currently going on by Charles Soule. I read issue number 1. It was fantastic.
See?
Deadpool. There's going to be an all-new Deadpool
Yeah,
written by
Scotty Young.
Scotty Young.
Yes.
Lots of stuff to get excited about. So if you've never gotten into comic books before, now's a great time. So go to your local comic book store, ask them about the Marvel Fresh Start campaign and where should you jump on. You can jump on anywhere.
Yeah. Tons of fun, people.
Tons of fun. So that's our show, guys. Again, thanks a lot for watching. If you're new to the show, click that subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with your friends. We do it every single Sunday. We just talk about the comic books of the week and the movie news, all the good nerdy stuff that happened this week. So without further ado, man, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Next week, if you're still watching this, we're about to wrap it up. Next week, I just want to do a quick promo for our annual Chuckload of Comics Trivia Showdown between Charles Snarls Riley and Andy Bad Attitude Lindsay. We're going to find out which one of these idiots knows more about nerdy comic book stuff. So watch that. That show's going to be next week. I think it's going to be a two-parter. So watch Chuckload of Comics next week for the Trivia Challenge. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. We will see you here next week. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.